Hello and welcome. I'm Mariah Ramharak with another edition of At the Track. Well, there was a restart to horse racing in Trinidad and Tobago at Santa Rosa Park over the weekend. And the legendary Barbadian Patrick Husbands was back in his homeland to contest the Home of Champions stake. But first, let's head to Caymanas Park here in Jamaica, where there were fireworks during the 2 delightful days of racing. The Alexander Hamilton Memorial Trophy, contested over a mile, was the feature event on Saturday's race card. Conditioned by the maestro Philip Fiani OD, I've Got Magic was sent off as a 1-5 favourite in the 5-horse field. Here's commentator Brian Spotty Rickman on commentary.
They're off for the Alexander Hamilton Memorial Trophy. I've Got Magic just a shade tardy at the start, but now beginning to motor on the rail. Allure of Lucy, as expected, has the speed and shows it. I've Got Magic is chasing in second. They lead the 7. Duke settled back in third for a late run. Miniature Man toward the back of the field. And last of all, it's El Profesor as they make their way down the far side. They'll arrive at the 6 and Allure of Lucy out in front, but narrowly now. As I've Got Magic nibbles at that lead, it's only ahead as they make their way toward the 5. A gap of some 3.5 to Duke racing up. Miniature Man right alongside. And El Profesor best forgotten at the moment. They make their way down the back stretch. They're on the run to the half-mile and the turn for home. And Allure of Lucy on the outside, asked to kick again, narrowly though, a half a length in front of I've Got Magic as they spin the corner. Miniature Man races further back, racing just ahead of a Duke. A gap opens up to the trailer, El Profesor, as they charge away toward the final 3. Allure of Lucy asked to kick again. I've Got Magic refusing to quit. Miniature Man edging closer. Duke now begins an eye-catching run. And the gap opens up to El Profesor as they'll come thundering into the top of the lane. It is Allure of Lucy stepping just off the rail. The rider changing his hold and having a peep in his mirrors. I've Got Magic now energized and asked to come forward. And I've Got Magic sprints through and grabs the lead from a towering Allure of Lucy. Here is the great Duke with his usual late run. In behind them, Miniature Man and El Profesor, but it's I've Got Magic. Tevin Foster has his magic wand in the right hand, and I've Got Magic responds as Tevin Foster and I've Got Magic will win the Alexander Hamilton Memorial Trophy by maybe 3.
Allure of Lucy managed to get the first run heading into the home stretch. However, I've Got Magic, under the wizardry of leading rider Tevin Foster, was comfortable in securing a 3-length victory. This was another memorable win for trainer Philip Fiani, owners Lakeland Farms, and breeder Richard Lake. Sunday's feature was the George Hosang Trophy. This was a non-restricted overnight allowance event for thoroughbreds 3 years old and upwards. Terrific Tevin Foster, fresh from victory in the Alexander Hamilton Trophy on Saturday, was aboard the 6-5 favourite Nuclear Noon. Here's Brian Rickman once again with the race call.
They're off for the George Hosang OD Trophy. The Goodrich came out at the back along with a Ring Charmer and Taurus Boy. Super Duper, as expected, matches strides with Emperor of the Cat showing speed. Nuclear Noon is there, Yellowstone racing on the outside. Generational in between horses. Eagle One asked to make progress. Rassi Manuel tacked on to the tail end of that group as they've left the half-mile and run toward the 3. Some 2.5 lengths back to an improving Taurus Boy. Helicopter moving right with that one. The Goodrich further back in the blue. Charming Beauty in the blue sleeves races toward the back. And last of all, it's a Ring Charmer going nowhere at the moment as the leaders have left the 5/16th and will come thundering into the top of the lane. Emperor of the Cat stepping off the rail toward the center. Yellowstone is right there too, and Yellowstone has the lead from Emperor of the Cats. Nuclear Noon is shaken for run. They charge up toward the final furlong. Yellowstone now being driven out. Nuclear Noon coming forward with a challenge. Emperor of the Cats looks to be beaten, but it is Yellowstone beginning to float away from them. Nuclear Noon is chasing, but needs to find 2.5 lengths, and Yellowstone will win the George Hosang OD Trophy over Nuclear Noon. Taurus Boy may have snatched third.
Driven out by 3-time champion rider Anthony Thomas, Yellowstone clocked 1 minute 7 and 2/5 of a second, covering 1,100 meters. A well-deserved trip to the winner's enclosure for trainer Alfred Brown, owners Gregory Stewart and Hilton Hamilton, and breeders Ham Stables. Well, let's now head to Trinidad and Tobago Santa Rosa Park, where the NLCB Science Gold Sprint was the main feature on Saturday's race card. This year's first stakes event was contested on turf. This was a Grade 3 event open to thoroughbreds 3 years old and over. A 7-horse field faced the starter going 1100 meters. Let's pick up the action on the backstretch with John Rupert on commentary.
They go by the far turn run, and it's General J and just the leader from Superbird, and Marvel Vigor is right there in third. Cool Cat is making some headway now in that fourth spot. And then comes Arsalan and Pawana Putra as they come out from the far turn. And General JN is still the leader. Superbird switches to the outside. Cool Cat is coming with his run as Marvel Vigor looks to be hard to handle there. Down the stretch they come. And it's General JN with the lead. Superbird is now being tested now. Then comes Cool Cat. Here is Superbird up to the throat latch. And General JN is fighting on. Superbird and General JN, they're coming down towards the finish. General JN and Superbird, it's a win for go.
A thrilling run to the wire saw Superbird, the 6-5 favourite, on the outside, just being edged by the 9-5 second favourite, General GN, on the inside. Bred in Jamaica by Everglades Farm Limited, the 8-year-old General JN was ridden by jockey Delon Kilawan for trainer Glenn Mendez and owner Jerry Nares. The jockey, trainer and owner all enjoyed their second win on Saturday's race card. Let's now head across to Barbados, where Patrick Husbands was so suave in the saddle to send a clear signal ahead of the Sandy Lane Barbados Gold Cup set for match. A large turnout was on hand to witness Patrick Husbands' ride in the Home of Champions Stakes. The 7-time Woodbine champion rider was aboard the 6-year-old bay horse, So Suave, for the 1800-meter trip.
And it is Jocular, still the leader. Being pressed now by Bodhi Tap. Then there's a break of about a length to Brilliant News and So Suave racing as a team. Vividly, yet to be asked a question. Inspired Adventure is the last one still. They've done 6 in 1:15 flat. They've come to the quarter pole, and it's Jocular and Bodhi Tap who dispute the lead. So Suave is third. Brilliant News is next. Vividly is starting to roll. Inspired Adventure will need to sprout wings or have a disaster befall the others. And there are no more turns. And it's Bodhi Tap and So Suave coming right through and picks it up. Bodhi Tap on the inside, So Suave, Jocular, but it's going to be So Suave. So Suave wins the Coolmore, wins it by 3 from Vividly, Jocular.
This has been another edition of At the Track, covering the top stories in the sport of kings. Remember to stay safe and ride smart.